What's up, cocklickers? It's fucking dream time.
Dream.
What's up, Sockshore? I'm your host, Zach. It's the four of us back. Specifically me. I'm sorry for missing last week.
How dare you?
better
That
be
was a
sorry.
good topic.
I feel bad for missing out, but I did get a new car, and I got to take my girlfriend to the drive-in.
I also got a new car.
Yeah?
Did you
Yeah.
take your girlfriend to the drive-in?
No,
He's better.
I have a job. Oh, you have a job too.
Yeah.
He's infinitely
Nah,
better
but
than me.
wait, what kind of car did you get?
It's a Honda Civic.
Hell yeah, I'm trying to race you, dude. I got a Volkswagen Passat for $500.
You're a Civic boy now?
What? I thought yours was a Volkswagen.
Yeah, a Volkswagen Passat.
You know what my dream project car is?
What?
Is a Civic. Talking about dreams, let's get into this.
Oh, we're talking about my dream car. All right, cool.
We could talk. Well, let's start with dream cars. Like,
Dude,
Okay.
honestly, bro, I've wanted a Hellcat forever, but lately I've been really into Porsches and like this Jaguar F-Type.
yeah.
I've
The
never
SVOs.
been into Corvettes, but like
Yes.
the
That's
C8.
That's
Dude,
my dream
I want
car.
the C8
Oh,
so bad.
dude.
Ever
my-
since they came out with the new line of Stingrays,
Mhm.
that's the sexiest car that has ever existed.
Do you want to know something sad? I have a brother-in-law who just recently crashed his new Corvette, and he was looking to buy a C8, but there's like a 1.5 year long waiting list.
Oh, fucking...
I'll
That's
wait.
crazy.
But dude,
I'll drive one of my dreams, dude. It's fine.
I know, honestly. Have you ever had a dream where you had to drive somewhere?
Yes, actually.
Crash in dreams all the time.
Last week, I had a dream that I was driving, like, I guess it was through Texas because there was just, like, cow manure everywhere and it smelled terrible. And I was like, we need to get out of here.
That's
I was in the
Albuquerque.
car with, like, my mom and I forget who else. But I started gassing. Like, I was going, like, 800 miles an hour flying down the highway, like, just to get away from the stench.
Dude.
And that was, like, the entirety of the dream.
You guys just made me realize that on any of my dreams, I've always been driven. I never drove.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
I've never been behind the wheel on the car. Like, I'm very vaguely in cars in my dreams.
Yeah?
But when I am, I'm getting drove.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a dream one time that I drove a Hellcat, and I almost shit myself in real life because like I don't remember what car I drove that was fast in real life, but like it was so amplified, and like I couldn't keep the tires to the ground, so I just kept drifting and I crashed.
All the car I'm always driving. That's funny because even when I was younger and before I even learned how to start driving, I was always thrown in the driver's seat, and like that was actually a fear for me for a while. Was
so harrowing.
it was like me being a kid, and I'm like you could feel the car moving in your dream, but instead of being like able to focus on the outside where you're driving, it's like you're only on the inside of the car. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on.
See, like, even recently I had this dream. I think it was a stress dream. That I was looking to trade in my truck that I have now, and I found the car, and it was a real nice car. And, like, I was like, I want to drive it. I got in, then I got out, and, like, I just knew it drove amazing. And I just wanted the car. Like, I never started it. I never, like, drove it around the block, but it was, like, in my head, I drove it, and I loved how it drove. It's weird. Like, you say, or whoever said that, like, you drove in your dream. I can't. Like, I never had that happen.
Dang.
I had a reoccurring dream kind of that I like had a Rolls Royce. It was like an all white one, dude. It was so sick. And like the only time I ever really remember getting driven around was in that dream, because like it was when I really wanted to be a movie director, and like I would drive
So
up
like, what was the inside of it like?
like a Rolls Royce.
Like, what did it look like? Like,
was all-
did it feel like you were inside of it? Like,
Yeah, it was all white, and like I had like the curtains and shit, and I was like going up to a red carpet event, and I had that dream like twice. Like,
what happened inside of it? Was like, did anything?
No, I was just getting driven around. I was like playing on my phone or whatever. Except my phone was.
Was there
kinda
people in
weird.
there with you?
No, just my chauffeur.
Because I'm always in the car with like people. Because I'm always in the driver's seat, but I can't see people with me. But I know there's like people in the car. It's really strange because every time I drive and I crash in a dream, I'm never sad for like me crashing because it's kind of like a dream. Like I'm kind of aware that I'm in it, but it's like I'm like, oh wait, there's people in the car. Like there's people behind me.
Is that what you thought when you tried to turn fast?
No, that's not what I thought. I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna turn fast. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Wait, what happened?
Me and him went up to Colorado together he wanted to go snowboarding. I ski, and he kept saying, "You want to see me turn fast?" And I was like, "Sure, dude." And he goes, all right, I gotta pee, so I'm gonna turn fast. So I was like, all right. And he turns hard on this corner, and we go straight into a ditch. On
It
the
was
side
snow.
Of the road. It was all snow.
That's the issue, was that it was snow.
Hey man, that's Colorado. You eat a fucking
Got
mushroom.
live audience reactions. I think
Yeah.
your girlfriend had no idea that happened.
Dude, that's what happens. You eat
Yeah,
a fucking mushroom, you smell a frog, and you just turn fast. That's all you gotta do.
We hit the snow. Like, we slid. He hit a patch of ice, and we slid into this. It was like a drainage. It was like a drainage for like like
an arroyo, along the side of the road.
And so we were there, and we got stuck there for like an hour and a half until
because getting up out of it was like uphill, and
Yeah.
it was snow, so they couldn't get traction.
Damn.
And then finally a cop came by.
He helped dug us out.
He dug us.
I feel like we have.
We've had.
You told us like a couple times.
Yeah.
I think I just mentioned that I was turning fast and it didn't go well.
Yeah. Dude, that's like, gotta turn quick. You know, make that the next movie we make.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
So,
oh, sorry, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna put us back on track.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna talk about recurring dreams too.
But
But, like,
Recurring dreams.
when you drive, do you feel shit?
I love driving. Driving. It's like the best thing.
You feel
like,
it, though.
Because even like driving in a dream, I'm always like happy because that's where I want to be. I always want to be like in a car. I'm always trying to like drive somewhere. Whenever I have a dream, it's always like get to a car for some reason. I just like cars.
Yeah.
They're very deep in my subconscious.
dude, like even in my shit, like I have dreams where like it's the apocalypse and I'm trying to survive. Never once they're like, we need to get to a car. Never once
Yeah.
have I been like, all right, we got to get in a car so we can get away.
So, tell us about your apocalyptic dreams then. Like, what
My-
kind of prophetic
What
knowledge
do you run from?
can
Like
you
if you're
bestow
running
upon
from
us?
something.
The rapture,
Yeah.
like the actual end of the, because I kind of have an ego when I like comes to like dangerous situations where I'm like, I can get out of this. Like I'll just have. There's always a way. That's just in my mind. Like there's always a way.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's a whole when it's like the world is ending and I can't run from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's those are my like the nightmares that like scare me. Those are those nightmares where like the world's ending and I'm like trying to figure out how to survive, but you can't. So like you just feel hopeless.
So that's interesting because like I've also had like apocalyptic dreams. I usually, like the origin robots. That's usually what I'm running from, like giant robots like that. But it's still that impending doom feeling of like, oh shit, like he's like they're stomping everything. It's like it's coming. So I would always like run from them, and that's interesting that like, I've always thought I dream a lot. I've always like had a really really like close relationship with just dreams in general, but it's always been running. And then I don't remember how old I was, but I remember there was a moment where I was like, why am I running? Like, I don't even know what's going on. And I lucid dream a lot. So I'm able to kind of like be more aware inside of a dream. And I was looking around and I finally just looked at like what I was running from, the giant robot. And I was like, let's go towards it. Like, let's just see what's up.
I don't run. That like in my dreams, I never run. Like I'm always like facing something. Like I'm always fighting something. It's mostly combat based, but
Same.
Finish.
Oh, sorry.
What
and
happened?
it's
Did you square up with the robot?
I always remember like
I'm a huge fan of Pacific
going
Rim, please.
towards the robot, and then all of a sudden I get lost in like you know how Blade Runner has like post-apocalyptic like cities like that. I start to get lost in that because I'm like, the robot's right up there, so I just got to go that way to meet up with it. And I start driving, or it's either I'm driving, or for some reason I'm like running, but like I'm from the perspective of like a car, so it's still like that speed of movement, but it's just my consciousness.
I was born to drive.
Yeah, exactly. And
baby driver over here.
Yeah.
well, So the more you go into like, the more I go into like these cities, is like the roads get really, really complex, and like I kind of know where I'm at because it's kind of how it's a mixture of all the roads I've ever been on, just in my head. So it changes. It really is just based on whatever I'm thinking of.
Okay.
In that moment.
Well, that's interesting, Josh. You're saying your fears were like of apocalyptic scale stuff.
Yeah.
My dreams are always like really small and localized as far as like the things that I'm like afraid of in the dreams, and it's almost never for my own safety or anything. It's for the safety of the people that are around me. And I don't know if that's because like I have a strong connection with my family, and I think that's exactly it. I have more fear for that than I do like what happens necessarily. It's just like if somebody I know is in the dream, like that's the priority.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's been times where I've abandoned my families in the dream.
Really?
Dude, I could
Yeah,
never.
because like I had a dream that we're in my house and like they're doing something in the living room. Like I just thought it was weird, so I went in my room. And the weird thing they were doing was summoning a demon, and they
I would have left too.
That's pretty goofy.
They all got possessed, and like at the time I was real close friends with this kid down the street, and they were real big Christians. So I ran there. I'm like, they won't come here because I got the power of God and anime on my side. And so I go over there, and they have like the whole room set up. It was their house, but it was like the old floor plan from my old house. And so you go up these stairs, and there's like 3 rooms right away. So I go up there, and like I come out, and the lights are off. And like I'm like, okay, and I look to my right, and my friend, he's just floating. Like he's just floating, but like he's like back, like the typical horror movie shit. Like the man was floating, and his head was up, and his eyes were rolled back. I was like, oh, they're here. So like I didn't even bother going down the stairs. I jumped over like the banister, and I turned, and it was my mom, but like. It wasn't, because like she had horns and her eyes were just blacked out. And I like took a step back, and I looked up, and my brother was like where I just jumped from. Then like I looked where the stairs connected to the top floor, and that's where my dad was standing. So I was cornered, and I blinked, and I woke up. And I was just like, what just it was one of the scariest dreams that I've had.
On the topic of family, this was like this is like the first time I've ever woken up from a dream like in a cold sweat. So you already know nothing good is gonna happen. In this dream, I was at like my parents' house that I grew up in, and it wasn't like a 1-for-1. It was kind of like a recreation of the house. So it was really strange. But I was there, and I was just hanging out with my parents in the living room. And they asked me to go like take some garbage out behind the house, and we have like a bin that we put cardboard in, and it's up a hill behind the house. So I walk up, and I toss the stuff in there, and I'm standing out by the shed that's on top of the hill, and I see a car coming down the dirt road that's behind their house, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, huh. And all of a sudden, like the wall next to me just like it explodes, and I'm like, that's a bullet. I'm like, oh. So they start shooting, and so I run back down. I go inside and I tell them like, "Hey, these guys just shot at me. There's real tangible threat outside."
That's interesting.
So I'm like, "Okay, I need a firearm. Like, Dad, whatever you need to get it." And so my dad leaves, and he comes back with a duffel bag. I go to my room, which is more of like representation of my room now, but in the old house. And so I go in there, and I get my gun, and I come back in the living room, and I have it like holstered, and I'm like, where's my dad? And they're like, he brought this duffel bag out, and I'm like, okay. And so I like open the bag, there's like a shotgun in there. And I'm like, where is he? So I walk back to my room, and as I look in there, the people that were inside the car are like sitting on my bed, and they're looking at me, and I'm like, absolutely not. So I rush back to the living room, and I turn around because they're coming down the hallway, and I reach for my gun, and it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who's in the middle, who I guess would be like the ringleader, he has the gun. And I'm like, I do or die. So I rush the guy, and he starts shooting. And so I'm like moving as erratically as I can towards him, and he misses like the first 4 shots. And all of a sudden I feel an impact, and I'm like, oh, I just got shot. I'm pushing forward, I feel another impact. So he shot me like arm, chest, and on like the 4th shot, I'm falling backwards. And I hit the ground, and I'm like, I've been shot, and like this is like a serious injury.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still like looking over me, shooting, like he's paying no attention to me, and he's shooting, and I'm like, my family's back there. And I wake up, and I'm literally just like dripping sweat. And it took me like 3 minutes to orient myself, because that was like the most intense dream experience I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had like a real war dream? Because I have those all the time. Because I remember, like did you say you felt the impact?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I remember one time we shot Tannerite, like just at a controlled place or whatever, and like I felt like real explosions, and I had a dream that I was like fighting in World War II or like maybe Vietnam or something. And I remember I was running across like this like gargantuan like huge field, and there was like a sniper tower kind of, and then there was one guy up there, and then right across the sniper tower there was like a bunch of barbed wire, and I knew that I had to get up to the sniper tower and kill the guy up there and like kind of like pick off the other dudes. And I remember like I was running, and they were like dropping mortars by me, and I felt the explosions and shit, and like I was so sweaty, and like I'm sweaty right now because I'm just fat and hot. But like in the dream, like I was like pouring sweat, and I like ran up the tower thing, and I tried to like I had my sights on the guy, but the gun was like literally like so heavy, like it felt like it was a 40-50 pound gun. So I aimed up, and I shot, and everything went into slow motion, and like went right above his helmet, and then I shot another time, and it went like right beside his head. And the final shot I took, I like actually like killed him, and I remember he like fell down in slow motion. I was like, damn, I really just killed somebody right now, and it made me feel weird like throughout the whole day that I just killed that dude, like even in my waking life. And then a couple other times I've gotten shot and hit the ground and got eaten by a lot of shit. So
I've had a lot of dreams of like you were saying, a lot of your dreams are combat oriented. I've had a lot of dreams like that as well. I used to have dreams of like trying to punch people, or like specifically I'd be walking down a sidewalk of like an area that I knew, because it's kind of like whenever I'm in an area in my dream, it's not like third person, but it's not like
it's not first
person. It's
you're there.
Dream logic.
Call it second person. Like I
dream logic.
I don't know what to call it, but it's like it's a little bit of both, and it feels like there's like street lamps like lighting wherever it exists in your dream at that moment. And I'll be walking wherever, and then like a clown or something will pop out, and then I'll be like trying to punch it, but it's like he's picking me up and I'm punching him, but it's soft, like it's whatever, and like it's hurting him and I'm able to get away or whatever, but it's not very like it's
not your actual strength.
Right, exactly. It's not my actual strength. And then that actually led me into I did martial arts when I was younger, and I picked it up and just on and off throughout my life. And dreams like that have helped me get back into it, because in the dream I feel like insecure with how hard I punch. And then I actually notice the dreams get better the more comfortable I feel with myself, like in the real world.
It's kind of weird how like shit manifests itself. Like, remember when you were talking about like demonic shit? This isn't necessarily like a dream, but like, do you guys ever like close your eyes and right before you fall asleep you start seeing shit? Like, I don't know what it is, but like this might be too weird or whatever. But like sometimes I'd close my eyes and like I like see like ghouls and shit like real close to me, like almost like demonic figures.
Like faces, like yeah, like two black eyes or whatever.
No, like I would close my eyes and I would see like a fucked up face, and it'd be like right next to me, and it would freak me the fuck out. Like lately, like it happened to me like 2 nights ago, and I had to wake up and like I can't fight this off right now. And then like it sounds weird, but like the way I like fight that off is like I just like I have like a mental war with it. Like I envision myself like pushing it away, like with like a force field almost, and then like I like envision like a fucking dome over me, and like I just like pray and like, dude, I'm like got goosebumps right now. But like I like literally have to like mentally like fight off like demons and shit.
That's really interesting. That's like really interesting because I've had narcolepsy my whole life, and Frank's talked about this before. But I've had like sleep paralysis, and that's kind of what it's like sometimes. Is because when you kind of wake up at first, you're not really sure what's like going on, and you're still in a dream state. So you immediately wake up. And your vision just sees like, if you could just imagine taking a picture of whatever you're seeing at that moment, but it's like really just, it's really just the color and the shape of whatever's there. It's kind of almost like abstract art because there's no context to where in a room you're looking or what time it is, how dark it is, or even if like you're in a room. So you're still kind of dreaming within that, and it keeps you locked there like a force, like it feels like a force field. And for myself, that's also how I felt best to deal with it is like, if I am in a dream that's like binding me, like my dream self will be able to like push it, like push whatever is there or just push up, like get up in general, even though my physical body is still like in sleep.
The reason that like I jumped up. Oh, were you next?
Yeah, Josh had something to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because you're talking about, because you said that like you see things. I never see things, but there's like times where like I'll go to sleep, then like I'll blink and like I'll flip over and I just get this feeling. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight, like 100%, and it works every time I have that feeling. It happens. Yeah. But so like I never seen anything, but like I have sleep paralysis too. I've still never seen anything.
I hear things. Does that happen to you guys too?
I hear things.
Because like,
yeah, you can hear things.
I remember one time I had like.
Well, is it when you're awake or asleep?
Like, kind of both. Like one of those like weird, like you're almost asleep.
Yeah, my dreams changed how real life sound. So like there'll be a real life sound, but in the context of my dream, I'm just hearing the sound. And since I can't really like, so if it's like a high pitch engine or something, it's like wow, and like it's or a motorcycle. In dream time, it's a lot slower, so you hear it in the dream. It's like. And it sounds more like a baby crying. Yeah. And it just changes to whatever.
Because, sorry. Go ahead. Okay, because I remember, like, sometimes, like, when I have, like, almost sleep paralysis, I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but, like, I'd be like...
we can talk about sleep paralysis, because I have...
Like, yeah, Frank, even... essay. So sometimes, dude, like, I'll, like, remember I was just talking about, like, I see fucked up shit sometimes when I close my eyes. I don't know what that is from. I probably need to talk to somebody about it, but, like...
It's pretty natural. It's just, like, intrusive
thoughts. It's your imagination.
But, like, I would, like... kind of wake up from something and like I can hear like like when you like a flashbang goes off or something and like, but it's like more distorted than that. It's like it was like high and I'm like it sounds like something from a horror movie and I'll just like sit there and I'm like
that sound is what I hear when I'm about to go into sleep paralysis. Yeah, like it just starts ringing and resonating and it's like almost like vibrating. It's like
like Venom in Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's so fucking scary. Dude.
But anyway, interesting you guys talking about, like, you learning to just, like, push that back or fight against it. It was, like, my whole struggle with sleep paralysis through my formative years to now. It started when I was in high school. I had, like, my first incident of that. And I remember it messed me up. Because I was, like, I couldn't move. I felt like something was in the room with me. I couldn't see anything. Like, in the doorway, it just looked like a shadowy figure was standing there. And I was like, I cannot deal with this, at all. So as it kept going, I immediately started looking it up. Like, I dug up every, piece of information. I researched all of it. I figured out it was called sleep paralysis. I figured out, it happens. I watched a few documentaries. I read a lot of medical papers. Just because, I needed to know what was going on. I needed an explanation. Once I had that explanation, I was like, okay, it's not real. People have similar experiences like this, which the fact that people have similar experiences is freaky in and of itself, but it's almost comforting in a sense, like, okay, I know what to expect. Right. And from there, it was like learning to push back against these like intrusive thoughts and everything. But go ahead, Josh.
No, because I lied before. I've seen one thing, but it was real quick. Like when I was actually locked in my sleep paralysis with my eyes open and trying to look around the room, and The one thing I saw was I was in the living room, and how my living room setup is the couch is facing the TV, and to the right of the TV is an arch, and I was laying on the couch, and I kind of looked towards the arch, and I just saw like a head just go back behind the wall, and that's all I ever saw. But
I've had reoccurring nightmares. You guys ever had that?
Yeah.
Because this is weird because I remember when I was a little kid, I remember seeing like a face of a man. Because like my bed, as a kid, like there was a window like right above, and it's like, like you can like look over it, like peek, and I remember like it was like a nightmare / like sleep paralysis. I don't know, but like it kept happening.
It's been like a night terror.
Yeah, it happened to me all the time, and it was like this guy who had like big like bushy eyebrows, and like he looked like an old like creepy fucking guy who'd molest you or something. So like, I would always see him, and I would just close my eyes like really hard and like just try to go back to sleep. And years later, I found an article about a man that's been in many people's dreams before. Dude, I have such bad goosebumps right now. And like I looked at it and I was like, that's the fucking guy. And like it's a weird phenomenon that like happens to like a number of people. So like it kept happening to me.
In sleep paralysis, there are very common things that people see. Like there's the shadow man, they call him. There's like the old hag, who's like this woman will come and she'll sit on your chest and just like look at you.
Actually, sorry that
I've never had that one personally. It's always been like shadow.
Can I just you go off on that? So my progression of dreams, I've always been very, very.
This is the Halloween special.
Yeah, we're getting into the
creepy shit.
Yeah, the Halloweeny dream.
Oh, dude, speaking of Halloween, you had a wet dream.
But so my like progression of dreams, I've always had very vivid dreams. So vivid that I actually was in Angelo's wet dream. But I remember my first dream. It was.
I'm sorry. Oh god. I was already trying to hold myself together.
I know, dude. Josh just like he just turned red, dude.
he was like on the verge of tears.
I know.
Just broke this man.
So so the first like dream that I remember experiencing, I was very, very young, like little, not like old enough to jump on a bed, but old enough to like see kids on TV jump on a bed. So the dream was, imagine just like a warehouse of just black, like all the lights are turned off, and it kind of just turns into all void. There's one spotlight in the middle, and there's a bed just right there that it's like really big, like just kind of like the floor that you're looking at is bed, and I'd be jumping on that, just getting higher and higher, and looking around the bed, and like I'm thinking about how cool the bed looks as it's a huge bed, and then I don't know if I either fell or it was just I looked down at the bed. And I felt that sinking feeling for the first time of like, oh shit, like, oh dang, I'm falling, man.
Yeah, because you looked down and it was just Angelo's lap.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my face. I just saw him busting like the biggest load in my life, and like I couldn't comprehend that at that time. But
I was also your age,
so
though.
yeah,
so I don't look like a molester.
But then you see that like progress as I got older. I would see like shadowy figures. Like one thing that I would see is, you know how people talk about like coats, you see like a figure. Well, it was even more than that. I'd see it like in the doorway.
In the doorway, it's
like
always
completely.
in the doorway.
Yeah, it's always in the door, and like a huge like the whole figure in the doorway.
Very tall,
and like you can feel the presence there, and I'm like. Dang, that's crazy. Like I can, the lights kind of on. But then you said about like the lady that sits on your chest. Well, there was one night, and my dad even talks about this.
Because a lot of people get like compression, and they feel like they can't breathe.
Well, no, my dad's talked about this before, and I had like the same exact like thing. Is one night I'm sleeping, and in the middle of the night, like I feel my mom walk in because she checks on me whenever, and I feel on like near my legs. Just the bread like compress, and like that's all I can feel, and I can see like the outline of someone sitting on the bed, and for sure that I thought it was just my mom like checking in on me, and come to find out like later that like my mom wasn't in the room, and and then my dad was like, oh yeah, I remember telling his mom she told him like, oh yeah, that's just Mijo, that's just your guardian angel, like it's nothing
to worry about.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. And I just remember that because I remember seeing them so vividly, and then it would get to the point where I started getting like a mix between reality and dreams where I didn't know how to separate between that. And that's when like sleep paralysis started. I remember the first dream that like I really just freaked out was I was probably like 11, and I was sleeping in my room, and I had a dream that like I needed to go get something from the garage, and I walk out to the garage, and my mom has an SUV, and I have a little black cat, and I can hear the cat meowing inside of the garage, because I used to hear the cat like meowing from the garage, and I'd come and let it out, but I kept hearing it in the garage, and the whole garage is lit up in the dream, like it's all, you know, very visible. So I'm like, huh. So I start to get in the car because I hear him coming from the car.
Always with the cars?
Yeah, it's always. Seriously, the car is. I'm very drawn to the car. So,
or are you
go
haunted
inside
by the cars?
I'm not really that afraid of them.
Did you watch Cars at a young age?
Probably.
I think that messed with you.
Honestly, I might.
The Kachiga got me. That scarred me for life.
The Kachiga.
Kachiga.
Hit it.
Wait,
What? The Kachow?
No, the Kachiga. Kachow is the comforting. That was like he was the hero. But okay, so I go.
Wait, what the fuck?
The
green
Kachiga. Like that's the bad guy in Cars.
What comes first before lightning? Thunder. Kachiga.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he say that?
Yes.
Dude, are we in the same universe right now? Is this like the Bears seen Bears type shit? Is like Mandela?
Angelo, you're in a dream.
Well, yeah, we're just dreaming. So I go in the car.
Wake up, please put your pants back on.
Wait, this is a dream. Let's make this bitch a wet dream. You heard me?
No, so I have a question. Have you guys ever felt like dark in the dream? Like it's like you go into an area and it like feels dark. You're like, oh shit, like this is. So as I go into the car, it gets like darker and darker and darker, and like it feels like
heavy.
Like heavy, yeah. So I finally reach into the back where my cat Bodhi is sitting there. He's a black cat, and I pick him up, and like he just like melts in my hand. And actually, I lied. It wasn't 11. It was like
last week.
15. I think it was like 15, because I was working at Sonic, and it was high school. And yeah, I just remember him like melting in my hands, and like that freaked me out.
It's because you murdered the pussy.
Yeah, with a disintegrated.
Hell yeah. Just kidding.
That's what I love about you guys, is we can go from a real serious topic to just...
That's what I'm here to do. I'm just here to spew non-facts and say dumb shit.
Thank you.
It's all non-facts.
I had this recurring dream that I was in my middle school. And the first time I had it, because every time I had it, I just realized where I was. So the first time I had it, I was just sitting in my classroom, and like they had like it was a fire drill or a lockdown drill, and we all just ended up outside. It makes sense for it to be a fire drill. So we ended up outside, and I just remember looking up, and a plane hits it, and it looks like a real plane. Like it looks like a Boeing plane, a huge ass passenger plane goes into my school, but like it just stops. Like it hits it. And like it indents like the bricks, but it stops just in the air. It's not inside the school. It just stops. And like I'm walking by it while we're all leaving the school, and I look at it, and I realize it's paper mache, and there's a string just going up into the sky. And I was like, okay. And so I walk, and my middle school, it was always facing west. And it had an intersection on its right side of the school. And so we walked down there, and I started heading west up that road. And I opened the door, and there's a door at the top of the road. And I open it, and it's just a giant auditorium, and there's ushers and everything. And more I had the dream, more I started realizing small details, like all the ushers were Asian for some reason. Then, like, I was trying to... When I sat down the first time, you know the stereotypical hypnotized wheels? It was that. And it starts projecting. I'm like, oh, we're going to watch a movie? Just all of a sudden, there's this red beam that just shoots in the first corner guy in the row, and it just real quick just zaps people's in the eye. And it hits me, and the first time it hit me, I woke up. Then... So I go back into it, and more I start realizing the patterns of it, so I start realizing those patterns are important. And so like there would be times where I'm like already on the road when the plane is hitting the building. Because when I kept having it, I was just like, I want to figure out what's going on, like, because I didn't know what happened. I just want to figure it out. And there's times where I tried leaving this auditorium, just get up and leaving, and I've been shot because of that. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to trick these guys. So I'll go, then I have it again, then I go ask to use the bathroom because I'm sneak, because stealth 100. And so the usher ushers me there, because I was just planning to just walk out the door when she says, oh yeah, go ahead, it's over there. But she escorts me down there, and so I'm in the bathroom like, fuck, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? So I decide just to hit her, and I knock her out, and I leave. And at this point, I'm just trying to find my house, and like probably like 3 more times I'm trying to find my house. And I'm like, I'm not gonna find it. I gave up on it. I was like, but I did figure out it was an invasion from North Korea, trying to get mind control these children so they can fight the U.S. troops with these children. And so right when I figured everything out, I like blinked and I looked up, and I'm like I'm in a trench, like World War I trench, but we're using modern day weapons. And like I look down, and like there's a dead U.S. soldier next to me, and I grab his gun, and I just start popping shots because I'm getting shot at. And like I get in cover, and I kind of peek over the trench, and I realize that there's like these guys on these platforms and they're just hauling off orders, and I just think they're idiots. Why would they display the nigga like that? So I shot him. And when I did, the group, they had like platoons that they were controlling. When I did, they'll run to our side and they'll start fighting for us. So like, then after we cleared the invasion, I never had it again.
That's so interesting. I wanna. Time is really an interesting thing. Like you were saying that you had different dreams at different points of the plane hitting the building. That's another way.
It was just like I'll wake up in the same place, but I know what's gonna happen. I just sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had that happen too.
It's Groundhog Day stuff.
Yeah, I've had that feeling of like deja vu in dreams, and every time it happens in real life, it just blows my mind because I have that same feeling like a dream, and then it happens in real life, and like it's just crazy. And whenever I'm in a dream, time is very, very like wonky. Like it doesn't really seem to go like forward or backwards.
Yeah, time is a construct, Zach.
Yeah, is definitely. Angelo, you can.
Dude, okay. I remember one time I heard at church that like God can talk to you in dreams, and like when you said that like something that would happen in real life that happened in a dream, like it freaks you out. That's literally happened to me like at least 4 or 5 times.
Same. Because
I would pray, like, Lord, speak, talk to me in my dream. And like I remember one time I was talking to this one girl, and I had like feelings for her or whatever, and like I think we were maybe possibly gonna get together or whatever. And then like we were laying in a bed in his room, and I was like staring above. It was like myself, her in the middle, and this like tall dude. And I've never seen this guy in my life. He had like no face. And like at first she was like facing me, and then she like rolled over to like the tall dude and like put her arms around him. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, that's not nice. And I felt sad, and I woke up, and like a couple weeks later, dude, she got with like a super like tall guy. And I was like, what the fuck? I already knew this was gonna happen, but I'm too stupid to fucking like.
This is like Nicolas Cage in Knowing.
What's that movie?
Let's not talk about that movie.
We're not gonna talk. Nicolas Cage, bro. I'm gonna go on another rant about him.
I actually have a Nicolas Cage pillow that says "See you in my dreams."
That's all I want to dream on.
You've seen it. It's in a video.
It is in a video.
That's crazy that you bring that up. I remember I'll tie this back around. In middle school, one of the things we had to learn to like learn computers was build a roller coaster in a roller coaster simulator. And
I love roller coaster
I figured
Tycoon.
out how to change the texture of the ground, and it looks like Roller Coaster Tycoon where it's just infinite grass. And I figured out how to change the texture to each of the grass squares being a Nicolas Cage half naked in a banana. Like there's a banana bottom, and then the top of him is Nicolas Cage, and I thought it was the funniest thing because I didn't tell her that I changed the texture, and we had to present our roller coaster to the class, and I presented it with the changed texture, and everyone just thought it was the funniest thing. And I got in trouble for it because, you know, she was like, "Is he naked?" Like, no, I'm like, "No, he's not naked. He's in banana." Like, he should have been.
This is on that topic, but I'm gonna tangent real quick. Similar story. We had a presentation and it was a PowerPoint, and we had to do basically on like some rich inventor or whatever. And it was in computer maintenance class, so I picked like Bill Gates and Microsoft, and I was like, I'm going to talk about this, and so I did. But the CEO of Microsoft, Steve Ballmer, is just a crazy guy. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He gets up on stage and he just like sweats profusely and like sticks out his tongue and all that. So every time we mentioned Steve Ballmer, it was just like this cracked out picture of him. And there was actually a point in the PowerPoint where there was a photo of him just normal. Mm-hmm. But I timed the transition so it would flash like images of him just like looking crazy. Just real subtle.
That's amazing.
And I sold the presentation just straight face. I was like, yeah, and this is Steve Ballmer, the current CEO of Microsoft. And it's just like flickering, and it's him with like a...
he's a reptilian, bro.
He's looking like
That's funny because I had to do a presentation on, you know, Inventor. I did it on Gabe Newell of Valve.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
those pictures of him on the Google Images, those are entertaining. I figured out how to edit like sunglasses and stuff on people very early on, so that was easy. I just made a PowerPoint and people thought it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, the reason I brought up the texture of the roller coaster simulator was whenever I dream, that's kind of what the territory feels like. It feels like that infinite, like, super flat Minecraft.
Yeah.
Or,
I was going to say that earlier.
H.P. Lovecraft's cat's name? Sorry, I thought I heard that. You said something about crafting.
Yeah.
I was like, Minecraft and H.P. Lovecraft.
Minecraft's cat's name.
Yeah, please don't look up his cat's name.
Notch.
Yeah. Do you know what it is, or you're just saying it?
I think it's just funny to say. I don't know what it means. I saw it on Reddit, so it's gotta be good.
Angelo endorses this message for future employers.
Dude, I'm not getting another job.
Involved.
After this job I get, I'm not getting another one.
I hope this is our last job. Like,
oh my God, I don't know how to like tell you right now. Like, I can't say it on the podcast.
you can say.
You
You're
can
the
say it
only
on
one
the
who can say
podcast.
it.
You're the-
Hey,
like,
why?
It's
I washed
nigga.
my hands of this.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm ready.
The cat's name is what?
Nigga.
Really?
With the hard R.
Yeah, don't name your cat that. And forget that Minecraft's a thing too.
Yeah.
Dude, Minecraft is a racist game, dude.
How did you just derail us completely with like one word?
I literally told you that's what I'm here to do. It sounded like we were having too much fun. Or no, we were being too serious. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's say some racial shit. That I didn't know was racist. Racial. So.
Like, I heard this on Reddit. What does this mean?
Yeah.
That was an epic win.
I used to watch Reddit podcasts, dude. Not Reddit podcasts. Like, they would, like, a narrator would just read Reddit threads.
That was the hardest vibe check I ever took in my life.
I haven't recovered still.
A lot of my dreams are kind of like computer simulations. Like, that's how...
Yeah, that's just how you think, though.
Life is a
I feel like...
I don't think so. Like, whenever I was younger and I would see, like, those, you know, those roller coaster simulators, I would see that sort of, like, vague, just, like, sky, and I'm like, that looks like a dream. Like, that looks like just that abstract...
No, my skies are detailed. Like, if I look, I can see as far as I can see in real life.
Maybe my graphics just fucking
Dude, you
suck.
need
to get a new graphics
I need a new
card.
graphics card.
Oh, it's because you have glasses, dude. You don't have good graphics.
That's, dude, my face is
Oh,
just
no,
fucked up. I
Josh
can't
has-
smell, I can't see.
But that's really strange.
You probably have Corvid.
Probably.
What was I even saying? Dude,
You wanna make
I'm
out?
failing the vibe check right now. I still can't even...
Sorry, did that ruin the podcast?
No, that was great. You probably just made it.
Oh, man. Thanks, man.
They're like, these guys have been droning on about dreams and a bunch of esoteric
This
nonsense.
all in order. HP's love cat's name.
Shout out to Reddit, dude.
What's really interesting is...
No.
No.
Dude, I grew a neck beard because of Reddit. It's so fun.
What were you saying?
Wait, was your cat
Stop.
HP?
Oh my gosh, I dreamt of H.P. Lovecraft's cat. That's what I found.
That's why it melted. It just turned into an eldritch horror in front of your eyes.
Yeah, and honestly, that
Did
shadow.
Did you see a non-Euclidean building and just lose your mind?
Dude,
I love
always.
Yeah,
always. They're always in my dreams.
Yeah, all the buildings in my dreams are non-Euclidean. Like
I have a question. What does that word mean?
It's like
I'm not kidding.
So if you can imagine a game with. Okay, so you see these two doors? Imagine there's 4 rooms right here. Okay? There's just, you go to that room, then you go to that room, then you go to that room. And there's 4 rooms connected.
Is this like a house?
In a square. Well, yes. But imagine
there's
just from
4 rooms, but 3 doors.
Well, so imagine this. So you know how on computers, if you're playing a game, you can open a door and go into a room?
Uh-huh.
Well, let's say that there's... Structurally, you can only fit 4 rooms together in a square, but in a video game you can fit 5 because you can kind of forget that the previous space behind you existed. So when you walk into the new room,
he's lost.
Dude, okay, let me explain something to you. Anything past 3 syllables, I do not understand. I'm telling you right now. After 2nd grade or after kindergarten, when they stopped counting with cookies, dude, I just zoned the fuck out.
Just imagine multiple rooms behind one door.
Okay,
like
that's all I need to know.
Impossible architecture.
Okay,
like
that's
a video game. Like a video game is if you were to
architecture.
just keep going, but there's no like.
Yeah, you have a 10-foot hallway, and you have 4 20-square-foot rooms in that hallway.
That's crazy.
But from the outside, the hallway looks.
But from the outside, the hallway looks like just a 10-foot hallway.
Damn, y'all just gave me an education.
But yeah, the whole building thing, like all of the buildings in my dreams are like that, and this was my recurring dream, was just like this tower of a building that was never ending. The bottom floor was like a department store, and it was just really normal, like just people shopping. The second one was like a Walmart is the only way I could really describe it. We're not sponsored or endorsed by Walmart.
Fuck Walmart.
And again, it was just really normal. But as I was progress up, things would just keep getting weirder. On the 3rd floor is where there was this like spiral staircase that looked like it was made out of like melted crayons. And so I'd start going up that. And this was where I hit like the first barrier of the recurring dream. Because as I was going up that, the stairwell would start like crumbling away and I would fall. And I'd wake up and I'd have to go. It would happen again. I would have another dream back to the same spot. But I have a sense of urgency this time. So I'm like, okay, let's go faster. So I run up the stairs. And eventually, after a couple of failures, I make it to the top. And there's a dinosaur just waiting for me. I know it's a very childish dream. I was like between 10 and like 12 when this happened.
Do you mind if like I kind of touch on that a little bit, like the non-Euclidean space, like?
Can we use the word
non-Euclidean?
Not that
Non-Euclidean.
word. A big room.
Yeah.
Impossible
room.
See,
big impossible room.
Yeah, big room.
Big room in a little room.
But before
that's it. That's it. You get it. That's
every floor like went on seemingly forever. Like there was no boundary, but it was all indoors. It was all inside, and it wasn't like you could tangibly reach like an end point. And it wasn't like a never-ending maze either. It was just like, it just didn't render past a certain point, but it was all indoors.
It's really interesting, like, that sort of like non-Euclidean space. It's hard to say.
Dude,
but,
you just like...
I just killed Zach's brain.
Yeah. I know what you mean with like buildings because, like I said, I've had very vivid dreams since I was young. And recurring dreams... and every time I feel like that sort of like falling, like the ground falling beneath my feet, I still try to just like imagine there is ground. Like I just keep walking, and it seems to work out.
Different.
Yeah, it just seems to work out. But I've noticed there are a couple of different, like there's a list of places that like feel tangible to me. Like right now when I'm trying to think of them, they feel like a tangible place that I can remember. Like I went on vacation there or something. And one of the big places that I go to is like a hotel or like just like a giant hotel. It's like a brown brick hotel, and the more you go into it, like the rooms, they seem to go on forever. Sorry, go ahead, Angelo.
I heard Siri. Shut the fuck up, Siri, you dumb cunt. Oh, anyway, did you ever conclude that dream, or did I just zone out because I was thinking about non-nuclear fucking bullshit?
Well, I can go ahead and wrap up the dream now.
Go ahead.
So I would get to this T-Rex, and this was another like stopping point of the dream where I had to get past it because like it would catch me, or I would just like it would corner me and I would fall again, just like seemingly into like nothingness, and I would always wake up at that point. But he was chasing me through like what I can only describe as like another department store / like empty office complex, but there were like escalators everywhere, and so I would go up these escalators, and the ones that really sucked was when I would choose the wrong escalator and I had to run up one that was going down while it was coming after me.
Yeah,
and those were always like super harrowing.
That's interesting. Too.
But eventually I made it to like this elevator, and I just knew immediately like this elevator is going to get me out of here. So I went to the elevator, clicked it, door closed, no more dinosaur, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, we're past that now. Like, okay, cool. So after that was more escalators, and these ones were really straightforward. It was almost like just a progressive upwards flow of separate escalators, but they were just, again, all lined up next to each other. You'd have like 16 of them in a row. Half of them were going up, half of them were going down at random. But I would progress up this, and then it opened up into like an airport. And I don't know the significance of the airport because this was the only floor that was outside. And this is where the dream starts getting like fuzzy because I really don't remember what happens like necessarily after that, because I got past the airport and there was just this like wide, vast, empty nothing room. But there were these giant like hexagonal pillars.
Can I ask you a question?
And people just like walking around. And I never interacted with the people. It's like they didn't even recognize that I was there, and like I just acknowledged that like I can't interact with them.
I have a question for you specifically, Frank. Yeah. Has psychedelics changed your view on dreams at all?
Yeah, I haven't really considered that actually.
Because for myself, I've always, I've kind of repeated this throughout it.
Sorry, I paused it because I had to fart really loud. Are you saying something about psychedelics and like dreams?
Right. So for myself, like I said, I've kind of repeated it. I've had very vivid dreams my whole life, and there have been times where I've kind of felt like out of control of the dream. And most people feel out of control of the dream, and they kind of just let it go. But there was a certain point where I was able to kind of control it, like lucid dream, kind of realize that I'm in a dream state. And being able to recognize that you're dreaming, like as soon as I recognize it, I'm able to just like look around to see where I'm at. And I noticed me personally, whenever I started doing psychedelics, that was kind of like an awake version of that, like me trying to
that dream mindset.
that dream like mindset, like trying to get that like stream of consciousness of like sort of in that like non-Euclidean zone where it's one thought doesn't follow another thought, and that stream just kind of continues.
Yeah, it's more of a flow of consciousness rather than anything solid, which again, non-Euclidean.
Have you ever had lucid dreams? But like you're aware you're dreaming, and that's like the first part. Then like you can also, have you ever like summoned stuff like to your hand?
Yeah.
I do that usually when I'm aware. But have you ever had that where like it's jammed, where like you go to do it and it doesn't happen, and you kind of have to. Like in your head,
you have to build it.
You have to. No, I had to switch to like I want to call it like a frequency. Then it'll work. But I never built that.
That's interesting because for me, whenever I like summon something,
you just have to be like in sync with the dream.
Yeah, I have to like know what it is that I'm using. So like, if it's like something that I'm trying to summon, but I'm like, oh wait, I don't have the money to buy that, so I couldn't ever buy it in real life, and I don't know how to make it. Then I can't summon it. It has to, for some reason in my dream, like for me to summon something, It has to be like
I've had a few.
there has to be a logical chain of how I got it somehow. Either I stole it, either I did something.
What an absolute libertarian moment.
You just imagine in your dream you're socialist and you get whatever you want.
His dream is like, I can't summon this car in my dreams because I don't have enough money in real life.
I know, like I can't just summon a car. That's why if I see a car, I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta get in that. Like I gotta.
You gotta steal the car, bro.
No, I don't steal cars. Usually, like if I go into a car, the car's like telling me to. Like it opens its doors and it's like, oh shit, I gotta go in this thing.
Oh,
like
dude.
kind of how you felt about the elevator. I'm like, I gotta get in this thing.
It's like a wet dream.
Kinda.
Do you ever like? This sounds weird. Have you ever had a wet dream where you just fully blew your load?
No.
Like a nun?
I never finished.
No, I've
it.
never.
You guys want to hear something fucking gross?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you regardless. So you just start screaming. Anyway, but like I remember one time, dude. Like I was in California. Like when I was like probably like 15, I was visiting my grandparents, bro. And like I didn't want to like beat my dick, even though I was like super horny. Because you know you're 15,
Right.
Your dick's rock solid all the time. So I fell asleep.
It would never be soft.
Yeah, no,
Like
never.
ever.
Dude, never. Like, your dick is always on. So that's why when you turn 40, you're just like, I'm tired.
Mm.
I'm never going to come back on. So if you didn't use me then, you lose it. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Shit's out of charge.
yeah, nonetheless.
Should have bought the extended warranty.
Yeah, dude, you should have just, like, put that shit on the solar panel, bro. Leave your dick in the sun, get it a little hard again,
Renewable
bro.
energy.
Renewable
Yeah,
energy.
dude,
Yeah.
just, you know.
Renewable dick.
Anyway, so renewable dick energy, yeah. But anyway, so I was like sleeping in a sleeping bag or some shit, and I started having like a wet dream, and I'd never had sex like even until now, so like I didn't know what like pussy felt like, so I was just like humping this bitch over my jeans, and I just shot a load, and I woke up, and I was like, damn, my pants are wet, and I just blew a load in my grandparents' loft in a sleeping bag. And there's people like walking above me. I was like, what if I was like making noise? Like, yeah, you like that, bitch?
Dude, I talk in my dreams.
I've like made out my dreams where like in real life I'm like talking, like my face is moving, and my mom's like, because I can fall asleep in a car, so I'll be in the car like as dead asleep.
Damn,
And
bro, narcolepsy.
yeah, like, and I'm talking about taking over Bolivia or something. My mom's like, yo, you okay? Like,
My little brother talked in his dreams too, and like I remember one time like we used to share a room, and he like sat up, looked at me, he was like, do not touch that raccoon. I'm like, shit, all right. I didn't see one, but if I see it, I won't touch that motherfucker. Like, no, I talked in my dreams and like a good amount, I guess, too. But I say weird shit.
I guess I mumble in my dreams. That's what people told me.
Dude, we should record it and make a
Because
song.
I'm pretty sure I never said something coherent, but like that's a fear of mine that I'm like doing something compromising in my dream, and I'm like talking about it. And then like somebody just walks in and hears me talking about it while I'm sleeping.
It's like we have troops placed on the Bolivian border.
I've just sat straight up, full asleep, and said, I gotta steal the Declaration of Independence.
And then your mom's like, what? Like, shut up.
go back to dreaming about being a good actor.
He is a good actor.
He's a fantastic. I love Nicolas Cage.
I think he's a method actor. Is what he is.
He's a method actor. His
Actor.
method is being Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
That's his,
exactly.
There's some people you just pay to be in
But
that.
I actually have some homework for you guys. Just I think it'd make it interesting for next week's podcast.
I'm not doing it.
You always give us homework, and I never do it.
Dude, I'm
I'd
going-
be down to do the homework.
Yeah, like
So
that's not my
let's
fault.
hear it.
I have
Let's
a good
hear it.
idea, and you guys are like, no, dude, that requires like effort, man.
Remember that
That's a
time where
shitty idea.
remember
Yeah,
like 10
effort
minutes
is
ago where I said I stopped caring about school when they stopped counting with cookies?
Yeah.
I'm 20 years old.
I'll
I'm not
spank
doing
you
it.
right now. I swear.
Dude, don't. 'Cause then I'll have another wet
Dude,
dream.
I want that. That visually is so comedic.
Zach spanking me?
Yeah, because Zach.
Would you do it hard or soft? Bare ass.
I
or
do it
you-
soft at first, just like I don't want to hurt
Just
you. I
warm it
just
up.
want to let you
It's
know.
happening, guys. It's
Like,
happening. He
No,
won't stop.
Stop slapping your
No, that's Frank. He's into that image.
Yeah.
But okay, for like homework, seriously, we're sitting here talking about dreams, and I like ideas. So whenever we bring up ideas, there's always kind of like an overarching like connection between whatever we're talking about, but it kind of feels still disconnected because you can't piece them together that well. But just to come back, we've already recorded this podcast just talking about dreams and how in a very like disoriented states, because there's so many
There's just
like,
so much.
There's
to
so
talk
yeah,
about.
right, exactly. There's so many like angles to dreams that it's very difficult. It's kind of like fractals. It's just infinitely. You can just zoom in on whatever. So try just this week. You can either write it down like in an actual journal, like an actual dream journal,
Do I get to use my Doom Eternal dream journal?
He ruined my dream journal.
He wrote a sex in it.
Just write down your dreams or keep track of them. You don't necessarily have to. Yeah, you don't have to write them down, but do just look at them. And when you do dream, try to pay attention to it. Just really pay attention to it. Write it down.
Yeah, 'cause I've been having some wild dreams this month. Like the one that I told you about was woke up in a cold sweat. That was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my dream happened after we blew up that guy in Iran. He should have ran
What
faster.
did you just say?
Remember that guy we blew up?
Who are you blowing in Iran?
No, blow up. Like Trump shot a missile at a guy and blew him up, and everybody got upset. I'm like, dude, what happens? What are you gonna do? It's America.
When he shot missiles at Syria? Is that
Like
what
a,
you-
like a
yeah,
single guy.
That one.
He's like, all right, ladies and gentlemen of America, look at that man over there. He's not there anymore.
It's like, what's this? China. And he blew up a guy. No, because who was it that we almost got into World War III? Was it Iran?
Syria.
Oh, Syria? Damn, are they serious?
Yeah, Syria was the one who was like blowing up our, like oil rigs of ours.
Dude, I think they're gonna blow up that one bitch. I think, remember we were talking about that? Maxwell Galloway or Calaman, whatever.
I don't remember talking about that.
Jurisdine,
we talked about it last
Jurisdine
when he wasn't
Maxwell.
there.
Yeah, because remember, like,
Oh, Glizzy Maxwell. Yeah.
Glizzy Maxwell, Glizzy Maxim as well. Yeah,
We lost it again.
What?
but no, I was saying like because you said it's like fractals, and I started thinking about fracking and how they're gonna blow her up when she takes a hot prison shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
I think that I vaguely
I'm
remember that
surprised she's
happening
not
last
dead
time.
yet. I gotta be
Yeah.
honest. Like, I'm surprised at how much information is coming out about like
No one cares, dude. Cause
Okay, what was the homework? What was the homework?
homework dream journal.
Yeah.
Just keep
Okay.
track of your dreams.
What if I copied someone else's dream? Are you gonna like? Are we gonna do peer reviews?
Yeah, I'm gonna like run that.
You're just gonna
stuff through.
Pop it into Google and see if that's a
Yeah.
dream that somebody else typed out.
Yeah.
I'm a copy.
I swear to God, if you guys come to me with like Tumblr dreams, I'll kick your ass. Like,
I had a dream that I was
I source all my dreams from Reddit.
yeah, dude, that's where I learned about the cat, dude.
All right. I think.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I know this
we
was a
go.
bit of a long one. So thank you for your patience if you made it this far. Thank you.
I love
Cannot
you.
thank you enough.
Thank
Clean
you.
your balls. Stop smelling each other. There's COVID out.
Yeah.
Clean your friends' balls. Stay safe.
I love you.
Absolutely.
I love you.